So, a lot of people ask me what happens if you die without a will. That's a great question. I think there's a lot of misconceptions around wills and what they accomplish, and then what happens if we don't have one. If we don't have a will or any type of estate planning document, the state actually has one for us. So, in Georgia, if we pass away, basically the state says that if we're married with kids and we pass away, our kids and our spouse will share our assets equally, with the spouse getting no less than a third of the estate. Now, you might be thinking, wait, that's crazy. I thought everything went to the spouse. And I think that is the normal assumption, that if we're married, all of our assets will go to our spouse. But no, they actually divide it equally with our children and then with the spouse getting no less than a third. This can create huge headaches, especially if we have minor kids, because in our practice, we've actually run into clients that have had their spouse pass away very unexpectedly. And the judge actually went so far to put minor children on the deed of the house. And so the mom is stuck not being able to refinance, not being able to move this property into the trust, and we're having to clean up that mess. It is important to realize that, remember, not all judges are attorneys, and so they don't really necessarily know what they're doing when they do things like that. So yes, in Georgia, if we die without a will, basically the state says that everything goes to our spouse and our kids equally. Now, what happens if we don't have kids? Then it does just all go to our spouse. What happens if we don't have a spouse? It goes all to our next legal heir. So if we're not married and we don't have kids, that's probably our parents. If not our parents, our siblings. If not our siblings, our nieces and nephews. So it is really important to at least have that will, because what the will does is it tells the judge what we want to happen after we pass away. So who do we want to be in charge of our estate? Who do we want to inherit our estate? And then what do we want to go to who? So it is really important to have at least that document, especially if you don't want your assets divided equally amongst your kids and your spouse, because that could be a big headache for your family.